Yes, I teach people how to wholesale. So if you decide to come into the coaching program, you will learn how to wholesale self-storage. I wholesale, Chris wholesales, everybody in that. We have several people that just joined the program just to learn how to wholesale self-storage, right? They tried for many years to do, wholesaling in the residential side, and now they're like, making money. I have one of my students, the very first deal he ever did, he made $100,000 on it. Wholesaled it for $100,000. All right. So, and like I said, I'm buying the storage facility I'm buying this next week is from one of my students who's a wholesaler. So yeah, we learn how we teach people, like in the coaching program, I teach you how to wholesale, and anything and everything that you imagine about storage facilities, you get to learn in Storage Nerds. Okay. So, I usually open up my calls. I have 1 day a week where I do calls. Usually it's on Tuesdays, but since yesterday was a holiday, I did the webinar today and the calls tomorrow. So if you are interested in talking to me about the coaching program, you can go to storagenerds.com and set an appointment. And then we can talk tomorrow for a few minutes, right? Or you can always, and then that way we can go over the coaching program. But I wanted to show y'all real fast. Let's see, before I'm going to answer these questions real fast, and I'll show you something. How do you figure out the cap rate for your area? I'm in Houston. You're in a primary market. So you're going to be anywhere from 4 to 7%, depending on what you can pay, right? And what they're selling it for, right? So I can guarantee you there are many investors that are buying at a 4 cap, but there may be some older, some older facilities in Houston. Houston's a huge, big area, right? And you could probably find some facilities for a 7 cap there, because Houston's such a metropolis. You might want to be on the outskirts, not like downtown primary Houston or anything, but maybe like in Montgomery or something like this. I'm talking about like in the outskirts of the Houston area. That would probably be like a 7 cap, I'm guessing, right? Because Montgomery is like an up and growing area. If you know what I'm talking about, right? So like the closer into the major cities, it's going to be like a 4 cap, and the further out you get, it's going to be a 7. It's like a 7 cap, but it's really just based on what they're offering and what you'll pay. That's really what the cap rate is. What are they selling it for versus what you're going to pay is what your cap rate's going to be, right? So you can't say like, oh yeah, run your numbers on the 7 cap, because they may want to sell it at a 6 cap. And the question is like, do you want to buy it at a 6 cap? Grace says, how do you determine what's a reasonable or great cap rate for an area? I'm in the coastal California area. I mean, honestly, Greg, do you have money? Because you need some money in that area. All right. If you don't have money, then you need to learn how to raise money. And the truth of the matter is, up in that area, there is a lot of people that have a lot of money. Now, if you decide to join Storage Nerds, my lenders will fund in California. They will fund anywhere from $500,000 up to like $50 million. They don't even care about the price. As long as it's a good deal, they'll fund it. Now, what we'd have to do is it probably syndicate or get some equity partners. So for instance, I have a student right now that is buying a $1.5 million facility. He got no money at all. And he's buying a $1.5 million facility. How is he doing that? He went out, he found somebody to lend him the 20% down. Okay. And then they created a company together. And then they took that company and they went and got a loan for the facility. And it's like a 25-75 split. He's going to get 25 and the lender's going to get 75, but he's okay with that. It's his very first facility. He's okay with it. He's going to be the boots on the ground guy. He's going to learn how to do everything, and he's going to make 25%. And he put no money into the deal, right? And this happens all the time in the group. For one of the mismanaged properties with no financials, do you have a way to estimate your pro forma rent while so you can use the cap to find your value quickly? You have to that's why I said you have to learn how to run deal analysis. But why don't you just use a cap rate calculator? If you get a cap rate calculator, you can run the numbers yourself. to figure out the cap rate. Now you're going to really have to look at the numbers and stuff, right? But in order to figure out your cap rate, you need 4 things: purchase price, total gross income, vacancy rate, total annual expenses. So annual gross income, annual expenses. All right. So if you can get those 4 things, then you can actually run your cap rate. Just use a cap rate calculator. Got it? So you can't just estimate, the NOI. You got to know the numbers. But what you can do is I'm telling you, let me show you. Hang on. So then, oh my gosh, no, I can't see. So I use this cap rate calculator. I just went over this in my coaching. All right. But I use this. I don't know which one this is, but this is what it looks like. Okay. If everybody can see that. You see how it's got the 4 things that I just said. It's the purchase price, gross rental income, vacancy rate, and the, what does that say? Operating expenses. Okay, the annual operating expenses. All right. But what I love about this is at the bottom, it shows you the formulas. It shows you the formulas. Right. So then you can just look at it and be like, oh yeah, what's cap rate? What is it? What's the NOI? Right. And it gives you examples and stuff too. Right. The NOI is the gross operating expenses. Income minus the operating expenses. Okay. So you need to know what the income is minus the expenses, this kind of stuff, right? So, you can get the formulas and you can manually calculate it yourself. Just use this calculator. Now, that's not really how you need to be doing your due diligence and looking at your numbers. But if you want a quick calculation or something like that, just do that. Just do that. Okay. Okay.